Everybody, welcome back. This is Inside Fitness Radio presents Total Fitness Podcast. My name is Matthew,
I'm Walter.
and today we are going to be talking about stupid people and how nobody how nobody is wrong anymore. We're just going to talk about how nobody is ever wrong, and especially on the internet. So that's basically what we're going to be chatting about today. This is coming up because just the amount of people on TikTok, on Instagram, on social media, just saying not just wrong things, but incredibly stupid things that will lead to injury, will lead to disease, will lead to really bad outcomes. You even have doctors now saying some really bad stuff just to get the views from it. So we're going to talk about it. Just to start this off, Walter and I were just chatting beforehand, and one thing we do want to get across is when you're dealing with somebody who is less intelligent, they have this idea in their head that they are right all the time. There's actually studies that have proven that people with lower IQs believe that they are constantly right, and you can never change their mind. It's just how it goes. And one of the examples in one of these studies is back in the early 1990s, there was a bank robber. He ended up robbing two banks. And when he got caught, he was asked, hey, why don't you have a mask? Why didn't you protect your identity? And he said, well, I put the lemon juice on my face. His whole thing about robbing these banks was he put lemon juice on his face because he read in some magazine or some article that invisible pen ink was made with one of the ingredients was lemon juice. So he thought if he put that on his face, he wouldn't appear on the CCTV cameras. Didn't really work out in his favor. Anyways, it is now being used as one of the studies in psychology and anthropology that basically says, when you're dealing with somebody with low IQ, they think they're the smartest person in the room. So we're going to chat about it. I just had to get that out. It's a funny story.
Yeah, it's a funny story. I would argue that it has nothing to do with IQ, that closed minds
Yeah.
make you think you're right. Because I know plenty of really smart, closed-minded people who will swear black is white, um, quite intelligently. And they will back it up with facts, despite the fact that it's not a fact, you know? So I think that, well, closed-mindedness is stupidity as far as I'm concerned.
It is.
If you can't listen to other opinions, if you can't take something, and we've lost that in modern society, the chance to have debate, put facts back and forth, and come to some conclusion somewhere in the middle, perhaps, which is really wrong, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true though. You're dealing with a society now that is so split down the middle that if you believe one thing, everything else is wrong. And if you are on the other side of that, you believe everybody on that side's wrong. And there is no kind of in between anymore. It's just there's no debate, there's no healthy debate. It is just screaming back and forth using emotion versus intelligence and logic. And it's really dangerous. And on the topic of fitness, it's really dangerous because you're dealing with certain people who, after years, we're finally making progress after years of people being like, it's not healthy to just eat 800 calories a day as a grown-ass man or woman to lose weight. And then you have other people that are like, this is the diet I did on 800 calories to lose weight, and it was tasty, and I had no issues with it. Or you have the other people who are like, I fasted for 5 days to lose weight. And oh my God, does this actually
They
work?
reach spiritual enlightenment at the same time.
So you're dealing with all these things, and it's even gone as far that you have self-proclaimed experts and actual experts that they themselves are pretty close-minded. They are an expert in their fields, and because they're an expert in their fields, they have this idea that they don't necessarily need to learn anymore. It's the idea that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to be always learning from something or from somebody about something.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name names,
No.
but I've seen some PhDs that have said some pretty outlandish things lately based on very small studies with very small applicants, pools of people to actually research on. Whereas the metadata or the meta-analysis is of like 50 studies have completely destroyed that one study. But again, I want to peddle my bullshit so I can sell my bullshit products. So listen to me because it's controversial and different.
I mean, CNN, Fox,
straight down the
and both
middle.
are right all the time.
Exactly, all the time.
You know? You can't argue with someone who's made up their mind that this is the way it is. And unfortunately, right now, you know, we live in a world that is polarized that way, so that everybody's wrong except me.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, I will take my ball and leave the court, and then see how you feel. You know, arguing has turned into argument has turned into name calling and nothing more.
Yeah.
So it accomplishes nothing.
Well, you almost go as far as the name calling and the yelling back and forth. There's just, again, there's no debate. A good example of this is a guy on TikTok goes around talking to men and women in like a university type setting, a university campus, asking them, did you agree with Andrew Tate being banned off TikTok? And just instantly there is aggression. There's like, how dare you even ask me that question? He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. Okay, so if you agree with that, then you must agree that Cardi B should lose her platform as well. What did she do? Well, she drugged, robbed, and actually has admitted to raping a man before. And she's drugged and robbed men before when she was a stripper. Should she lose her platform? Well, you know, it's Cardi B. It's like you hear one side. It's basically, I mean, again, I don't know the whole story with Andrew Tate. I don't know what he's done. But at the same time, Cardi B did some pretty bad shit. So why does one lose the platform and you can argue and yell and name call anybody who even just asks you a simple question, not as saying that, hey, he should get his platform back. Just, do we agree that he lost his platform? So then should this person lose their platform as well? And it's just name calling, it's yelling, it's emotion. There is no debate anymore. It's really dangerous.
I think we've also lost, I'll use these words, they come from a thing, but it doesn't matter. There's no principles before personality anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I like you, then your word counts, even if you're lying through your teeth. And if I don't like you, then anything you say is false. And the principle that this is a fact, this is a fact, this is a fact no longer exists. When the spokesperson for the last president of the United States started talking about alternate facts, alternate realities, and she wasn't talking about the MCU universe, then I think that we know that there's a major problem going on.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, A equals A. It doesn't equal whatever we think it needs to equal.
Yeah. It's just,
it's that way.
Yeah, it's this disregard. I mean, I'll name him because I hate him. Dr. Joel Seedman,
Okay.
PhD, constantly is putting out information that you do not need to go past 90 degrees on a squat. You need to be doing this crazy plank circuit. You need to be doing these stupid pull-ups. You need to be doing, and sure, you look at the research and you're like, on paper, this all makes sense. Applying it to an actual human being does not make sense. If you want to jump higher, what is the best, most optimal way of doing that, aside from needing 15 pieces of equipment just so you can set up your stupid half squat? The best way is by squatting ass to grass, and you'll jump higher. You know, but he says you have to do 15 different ways. He's not necessarily wrong with certain things he says, but it's just, it's different and it's misleading the general population, and not a, this is wrong. It's a misleading in the way that I'm trying to sell you something. I'm trying to sell you my brand. I'm trying to be different. And I get it. In this digital age, you need to have that controversial take. You need to have that difference of opinion and difference of fact or whatever, because without it, you're not sticking out of the crowd. But it gets to a point where it's not good, especially as a doctor or a doctorate, that you are putting out this information that 99.9% of people who are starting the gym will hurt themselves doing. And you very, very briefly mention, and maybe one of your posts a week, that it's not optimal for a beginner. It's only optimal if you're, you know, a 7-year NFL athlete who's coming off of a knee injury.
Then why are you not advertising that at the beginning of your program to say this program is for these elites? It's not for the average person. To me, it drives me crazy because they're not taking. And if I've learned anything in my decade now of training, it's that everybody has a slight difference to it, and no rule is absolute. You know, how long is their shin? How short is what? How is their placement of their hips? All those things are going to go into play and need to be looked at because those are the small minutia that can make a change in the way that you train someone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just go, this is the best way. I mean, there's plenty of that bullshit. Ooh, that bullshit on TikTok and Instagram now. Don't do this, only do this.
Yeah.
And well, except for.
And
They
again,
never mentioned except for.
but that's the thing in this age, you're not trying to appeal to that 2% that can't squat the same way that 98% mostly could. And that's kind of the issue with it. It's like, I could say this is the best way to lose weight if you are blah 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 blah, or I could say this is the best way to lose weight: eat less, walk more. That covers that whole general audience, whereas the other thing only covers that very specific niche of person. Who am I going to appeal to better? Again, if I'm selling a product and I'm a coach, I sell a product, I'm going to niche down because I want to focus on that specific person. I'm trying to focus on that specific niche so I can help them specific. I'm not trying to focus on 98%. I'm trying to focus on that 2%. Yeah. All these creators on here, though, especially the 1 million, 2, 3 million plus, they've created such a general fitness audience that they have to keep it like that. So you do end up getting that beginner that is part of that 2 or 3%. They listen to that person, they hurt themselves, or they do, they're not making any progress because it doesn't apply to them.
Or they look at the person's abs and go, I want that. I'll just do this diet.
Yeah.
I'll just do whatever. I mean, again, today, I got a bunch of Quora emails. And it's all, I'm 13 years old. I'm 5'2" and I weigh 90 pounds. I want to get down to 75. What diet is best? I coach. Why is it even being published?
I coach boxers. I have boxers that are under the age of 18 that are doing fights right now. Some are 14, some are 12, some are 15, 16, whatever. It hurts me when they come to me and they're like, oh, I gained so much weight over the weekend. I need to lose weight to be down for the weight class for my fight. And I'm like, you are 14. You don't need to lose 10 pounds. If you're boxing and you're 10 pounds over your weight limit, you move up to the next weight limit. It's not healthy at 14 years old to try to be cutting 10 pounds of weight in a week just so you can reach that, just because these pros do, or just because I do it. You know, I was, for my last fight, I cut 15 pounds out in the last 2 weeks of my fight. I gained it all back the very next day. I wasn't trying to lose it sustainably. I was just trying to do it for that goal. But I can do that for my body. I know what it takes and how it affects my body now. But I'm also in my mid 20s. It can kind of handle it better than a 14-year-old can. And when you're 14, you have all these freaking hormones, and it's, again, these are the kids and these are the people that are having these issues. You have women with PCOS
growing.
That's it. You have, and it's even worse. You got women with PCOS that's like, you need to eat this, 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 and this to lose weight. And women with PCOS will go in, they'll try this diet, and then they feel like shit, and their hormones are all over the place, and they have no energy. And it's like, well, what did I do wrong? The woman you're following doesn't have PCOS. You do. There is a big issue there. So don't be that stupid person that isn't willing to take 5 minutes to do their own research when you're actually looking and consuming this content.
I would expand it. Do your research before you go to the doctor's office. Do your research, have a list of questions. Do the work. Don't just be a sheep following whatever information comes your way and going, yeah, bah, yeah, I'll do that. You know, you've got to think for yourself.
Yeah.
We have to be retrained to think for ourselves.
It's tough. I saw a great video today. This will be my last point about this all. We do not want to be told what to do. No, that's a lie. We do not want to be told how to do something. We want to be told what to do, and we want to be told exactly how to do it.
And we want it to be totally painless.
Yes. Slack. So the example that I was researching was Slack. They changed 2 advertisements they have that exploded their SEO searches. I can't remember exactly what it said, but basically the first one was talking about a choice. So it's like, this is an alternative to blank. Didn't get a lot of hits. It didn't do well as an ad. They didn't see a lot of clicks and downloads from that ad. So they switched it to replace this with Slack and solve all your problems. So many downloads. The other one was we help you build a team and workspace, blah, 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 blah. Didn't get any clicks because we help you. We give you a laid out blueprint, basically. And this will explode your business if you use Slack. Like, it was one of those kind of things. And they saw incredible results from that ad. And it's true. Nobody wants to do their own work anymore. We want to be told, Walter, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to lose weight? Tell me exactly what to do. Give me the magic pill. Give me the secret formula.
There's no secret formula.
Damn.
You do A, B, C, D, E, F every day.
It's a lot of letters.
Yeah.
But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
That's all it takes. So that's my last point. Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid, people.
That's it for today, guys. If you did enjoy it, of course, always ask us questions, drop them below. You can find us here and here as usual. Message us on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any topics you want us to cover, we would happily do so. Stay safe.
Stay breezy.
Take care, guys.